Jayson is going to discuss how he started his own brand, Infinite Magic, and his healing, Chiron Healing. So, Jayson, how did this all start?
Well, when I was writing it down, I didn't realise how massive the journey was and how it went from one thing into another, and I never guessed it would turn out like this, to be honest. It's a lot. There's a lot. So I've gone pretty far back.
Yeah.
I've gone back to when I was 18.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how far to go back, so we'll see how we go. At the time I was 18, living with my father and brother in a house in the Mount Dandenongs, and that was great. Then things shifted with my father, and he pretty much said, "You gotta get out of the house. You're done." And I'm like, okay. So then I went to live with my mother, and I was living with her for quite a few years. And as that was happening, that was fine and that was great. I really appreciate the support. And then she was getting set up to move to Indonesia with her husband, and they were going to live there, and they ended up being there for like 10 years. As this was happening, I started to go through spiritual awakenings. So I would have been in my probably early 20s.
Okay.
Had a relationship breakdown as well with her for about 4 years. So things started shifting a lot, and I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't really spiritual per se. Always interested as a child about intuition, about, predicting stuff and seeing visions and stuff like that in the clouds, and that's a whole new topic. It's another topic. So I started to meditate. Just laying there meditating, and next thing you know, I just had this bang, huge awakening. Then the shit started hitting the fan, because by then my mother and her husband were, I believe, in Indonesia pretty much, or just about to go there, and so I was then renting the house. They put a spa bath in, like a big beautiful spa in the backyard, and chaos pretty much with the weather, trying to get it done over like a month. Just wouldn't stop raining. It was just ridiculous. So what had happened, I didn't know, because I was going dippy. I was seeing stuff, feeling stuff. I was pretty much losing my mind, because I was just become so overwhelmed with energy. So if people have experienced this, you know what I mean, and you probably experienced something similar.
Oh, absolutely.
I found a couple, they were called the Ghostbusters of the Mount Dandenongs.
Yeah.
So they came in and they were checking, because as well I had a mate that moved in as well, because I couldn't afford to pay for the rent by myself, so I had a mate come in, and so we went halvies, which was good. He was sensitive as well, very psychic, very powerful psychic. He got onto somebody that he knew. We got given this number to the Ghostbusters, so I rang them and told them what was going on. The first thing they said is like, "Are you guys on drugs?" It's like, no, we're not on drugs. We're meditating 5 hours a day, and we're just got some really massive issues here, and I think I'm going bloody nuts. And my mate's going nuts too, so I'm thinking it's a bit more serious than just, me having some drugs. He's a vegetarian, I'm semi-veggie, so there's no way we're on drugs. Can you please come around and help us out? So they said, yeah, we'll do that. And they didn't charge us either.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
They came around. They were awesome people. I was just like, wow, you guys are awesome. Very powerful couple. So they came around and I did checks around the house, and they said, well, one of the issues you've got is the spa bath that your stepfather put in has upset the ley lines of the property.
Oh, like shit.
So, and it was spirit ley lines.
Oh.
I had no clue that there were spirit ley lines, and it was upsetting the whole property. So I was picking up all this. So I had somebody was hanging around the house 24/7. Somebody else was a female hanging around, and I'm just like, just ridiculous. So we were trying to channel these spirits, and it was just getting nuts. By the end of like 6-7 months, my mate and I, one night, something, I don't know what happened energetically, but we ran out of the house screaming to the park down the road. And after that, he said, I can't do it anymore. He left. I'm thinking, bloody hell. Okay, and I'm thinking by myself now. I'm going to have to deal with this by myself. So then that's when I became a student of the Ghostbusters. So they said, you're a lot of gifts, a lot of talents. You haven't got a clue what you're doing. And I said, no, not really. So I spent quite a few years, and they were teaching me about all sorts of stuff, which was really amazing and phenomenal. And they were even doing rescues on the Astral with me as well.
Wow.
I was just getting myself in all types of stuff, and I didn't have a clue. I was just this young guy awakening to such a massive level. So they said, look, you're going to have to find a teacher. And okay, found a teacher after another 6 months. And when I found her, I was just told, you need crystals. And I was getting counselling from another medium as well. There was so much that went on. I was just craziness. I finally found a teacher, and I stayed with her for 13 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I had no clue I was going to be there. I said after 10 weeks, I said, thanks for your help, love. Catch you later. She goes, but you're doing really well. You need to stick around because there's a lot more that you can learn. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's when I ended up being with her for 13 years. And she had a lot of students. She was a brilliant teacher, bloody taskmaster, really crazy because we did massive amount of shadow work, healing work, ego development work. We did so much. We did phenomenon work, channeling, mediumship, psychic development, clairvoyance, clairaudience. We did everything. So you can just imagine 13 years of that, working with the karmic lords every week for a couple of years. That was just ridiculous. But during, I'd say probably 5 years into it or something like that, maybe less, I'm not too sure about the time frame. For some reason, I was getting told by her that I need to start up a business because I was big into artwork. So that's when I found myself doing airbrush artwork for, I think it was 8 years or something, and I was doing classes, stuff like that. And I even had my first solo exhibition. And I loved that. That was awesome. And I had to find a name. She said, you're going to have to find a business name. I was thinking, what am I going to call myself? So literally, I spent a week or two just trying to, find a name. And then I just had popped up in my head, Infinite Magic. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, yeah, I've got some personal magic and I like the infinite as well. And so
I like how you said you got some personal magic.
Yeah, well, at the time, I mean, I was completely a beginner, and I spent so much time just in this class every week. I worked so hard to work on me because I had so much stuff going on, family, and I had to let go of my friends, and I had to really step into a whole new me. That was really interesting to do. It was hard. I then called myself Infinite Magic, and it was basically about art.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing to do with healings, nothing to do with readings.
Okay, so how did it turn from Infinite Magic, which was supposed to be art, airbrushing art, into what it is today?
So I think around about the time, because the art gallery was about year 2000 when I had my art show, and I just became a really good healer. I found out that my biggest gift was a healer, and I was really good at that time, doing readings as well, because we trained like crazy for healing work, just spiritual healing. Started doing healings at home, doing readings from home. I was just renting this little shacky thing. I was still painting like non-stop. I was in the art studio, created an art studio. I was painting, probably 15, 20 hours a week, plus doing reads and doing healings. It's just spiritual healings. But I just felt really confident, really natural with it.